And I am live and direct. Welcome to the Focus Up Show. Today is going to be a one-man show. It looked like everybody jumped ship. They didn't like my business practices. They got tired of me and they said F that. And no, everybody's boycotting the show. They said, you can't do a show by yourself. Well, guess what? Guess what? I'm doing the show by myself. Student X, he left and went that way. Mr. Nice Guy left and went that way. Mr. Walk left and went that way. First Lady, she turned her back and walked away. And I'm here by myself. Wait a minute. Oh no. Okay, here we go. We got somebody who's coming. We got Mr. Nice Guys in the building. Hey, welcome back.
It's live from New York. It's the Eddie Murphy Show.
What's going on, Mr. Nice Guy?
I was just chilling, man. Yeah, we had some people that had to take care of some business. No one's truly defected, but yeah, it's gonna be a 2-man show. So I sent out some invitations in case someone wants to straggle on in here. But welcome up.
Hey, you supposed to ride the horrible boss narrative. You're supposed to be like, hey, you're supposed to be like, come on, we don't want to work with you no more. We want you off the show.
No. Floyd X is the tremendous boss, and guess what? I just got to admit that he was a boss. See, so it's proof. It's been established. Man. So that having been said, let's do it.
Missing the first lady.
Missing the first lady. She's taking care of some. Actually, she's taking care of some personal stuff. Yeah. So hopefully you straight, first lady. Yep. Infamous El Poo, he's working, so no spin that back. Yeah. Brother Walk, he's working, so no random ignorance. Yeah. She said yes, either so no, and brother Student X, he's working on some big things. So he's gonna be, he's not gonna be able to really do mutant politics, but he's gonna still be checking and probably doing some comments. But he probably won't be on the show for a little bit.
Listen. Y'all have to like the video. Subscribe. If you're not a subscriber, subscribe to the show. You want to go to the website, focusupshow.com. Check us out, man. We got to grow these numbers. Then, good morning. We got our brother, Mark Carm the 6th. Good morning, gentlemen. Good morning, brother. Thank you for watching the show. We appreciate you tuning in every week. We appreciate all of our viewers. We really do. And we keep it riding. We've been doing this for some years now. We're going to keep pushing. Keep it pushing. What's up, nice guy? Where we at?
So, let's get on to the get. That haven't been said. So, what's up? So first thing we want to talk about, let's talk about these Lakers.
So, killing it.
That's right. So, they locked down the number 3 seed, 50 wins, one more win again to get against Portland. But as I understand it, as I read this morning, that JJ was basically said, look, my goal for this season is us to get at least the 3rd seed and to get 50 wins, because 76 of the last 78 NBA champions were the 3rd seed or higher. So he set that goal. Yeah. And he achieved that goal. So
what's they standing right now? They 3rd or what?
They're 3rd. It's locked in. It's a lock. So it's it's locked in. They got 50 wins. Potentially they can go as high as 51 wins. They got Portland. That's the last game of the season. Yep. But they already did what they needed to do, and we'll see who lines up with them against on the other side. Right now, it's looking like it might be Golden State. Who knows? If the Clippers knock off Golden State and Minnesota wins, then they'll jump up, and then we'll see them in the 6th. So
they had 140 points last night against the was that the Rockets?
Yep, the
140. Rockets. They couldn't keep up. The Rockets couldn't keep up. They had I think they got the lead once or twice, but they couldn't keep up with the Lakers.
Hey, and they fought. Yep. They didn't play everybody. They rested some people. You know what I'm saying? Block Big Cuz. But yeah, no, just
Big Cuz. Hey, they won't say stop using this joke.
He gotta be here. He gotta be here. He gotta be here to stop it.
Yeah. Hey, we gonna use the same principle. If he ain't on the show long enough, we blocking him. He off the show, so we get to use all of your jokes, Walk.
Take him a shirt off.
Yeah. Okay. Then you also want to touch on little Bronny James doing his thing.
Speaking of walk, hating on the young Bronny James, you know what I'm saying? Talking about how the Lakers wasted a draft pick on this dude. Blah blah blah. People been trashing him, talking about trash. Regular people can beat him in a game. Suffice it to say, his rookie season, he lit it up, averaging like 20 something in the G League. The bottom line is, he's a legitimate basketball player. And we'll see how it goes. I mean, he's a late second round pick. He's a prospect, but the bottom line, he's a genuine prospect. So that's
okay. So brother said NBA in the 90s, I still revisit, haven't watched much new stuff. I don't have a TV. I was born in Chicago, so Jordan. Okay. Salute to
that's what's
Jordan.
up. Yeah,
Yep.
that's some prime basketball that you're talking about. So salute
Yeah.
to that. So salute to the James family. And pivoting from that, we speaking about James. I was trying to pull up the pic, but I couldn't pull it up in time. But brother Stephen A is considering running for president. What you think about that, Mr. Floyd X?
Stephen A for president. I think he's a smart guy. And I don't know. I think that he just signed that new contract. I think he's smelling himself a little bit too much. He think he's the big man on the campus now. I know it was like about 250 million or somewhere around there. Signed that new contract with ESPN, and he ain't disclosing it. But he been doing it, making his runs around all the interviews. But as far as him being president, come on, man. What's your politics? You talk this out. You're not really a representative of us. A lot of people don't appreciate, particularly my homeboy. Shout out to the 5150 show.
Oh,
My
goodness.
boy got all over him. Yep, 5150, baby. I'm a 5150. But back to Stephen A. Smith. I don't want to see him as president.
Yeah, I mean, Trump has basically let people know that anybody can be president. You don't have to be qualified. So that's why Stephen A is thinking, hey, I might as well throw my hat in there because Trump is done. At least he's supposed to be after 2 terms. Brother trying to get a 3rd term, but we'll see how it is. Yeah, it may be a publicity stunt, maybe a person feeling himself. Honestly, you got to have a lot of hubris to be thinking about being a president. Because if you're going to be the president, half of the people are going to love you, half of the people are going to hate you. A lot of people are gonna want to kill you, and you're gonna have to be guarded your family for the rest of your life. That's asking way too much, and you're gonna be sending people to their death. So that's a
You
tough
sound
job.
like you talking about Kanye West. He want to run for president. He said they trying to kill him. He ran off and went to Japan because they trying to kill him. He hiding out in Japan right now.
Talking
Calling people's babies disabilities, calling out disabilities and disrespecting people, seeing how far he can go on Twitter. Kanye for president or Stephen A? Who you picking?
Oh, I definitely rather have Stephen A. I mean, at least his feet touch the ground. I mean,
Okay.
Kanye walking around with gold swastikas and black KKK outfits, and he thinks that's the thing to do, but he's
Well,
hiding in Japan. You
yep.
try to run America, but you ain't you scared of America. You in Japan,
Yep.
but that's rich people problems.
Yes,
I do. I still hope. I still wish him good. I appreciate what he's done musically. He's a black man, so he still got my support after a fashion. But that brother needs help. That's what's up.
man, since we got time today, I've been
We
holding
got
this
time.
video. I've been holding this video. I've been wanting to play. Salute to this brother named Wayno. Did I play this already? But
I don't
this
know.
is
Let's
my
take a look.
this is Mr. Wayno speaking on Kanye West, man. I really thought it was interesting and I really appreciated the way he was stating it. And I'm gonna go ahead and play this video.
Is whack. No, I mean, he's just a whack nigga. Like, at the end of the day, he's just a cornball. Like, he's just a cornball. And all of y'all that make excuses for him, it says more about y'all than it says for him. Cause like, y'all use that man dick like the biggest roller coaster at Six Flags. Like get off of it. Get off of it. Like, for real, get off of it. All this Nazi rhetoric, like Jewish people is the only people affected by Nazis. When you see that symbol, when you see a swastika symbol, just know that there's people who tattoo that symbol on their face, on their chest, all over their body, as a way to disrespect black people as well.
Big facts. Big
Salute
facts.
to that brother. That was a good point he made because we think, oh, he just insulting them, but no, they use that against us too. So salute to that brother.
And I'm telling you, this ain't just his publicity stunt. I'm talking about that. I saw, I got my hands on a lawsuit before it played out. And I mean, he's doing this to his employees. He's doing this to, I mean, this is like, this is him. This ain't a show. This is literally where he's at. And that brother is far gone. So,
Right.
that's what's up.
So shout out to our brother, Mr. Rel Lamar. We see he's saying self-defense, so he's talking about our main topic. We're gonna get to that, brother. We're gonna get to that. we building up for it.
That's right. We're giving some time for some people to pop in, and Vince, they want to do that to tackle that topic as well.
Yeah. And real quick,
go ahead.
I want to touch on real quick Kendrick Lamar. He released a news video. Remember what Drake said? Kendrick opened his mouth. Somebody go get him a Grammy right now. You know what I'm saying? That was a lyric from one of Drake's songs. He was like, Kendrick, open his mouth, get him a Grammy right now. That every time Kendrick steps out, everybody pays attention. He released a new video called Luther. I like it. It's not on the level of those high intense videos that he make where everything has a meaning. It was more subtle and a love story. And I think it's a precursor to what's about to come next, because his tour starts next month. My daughters, they already got their tickets. They're gonna go down to LA and see him. I think it's at the basketball arena. I forget the name of it now. It's not Staples Center no more, right?
Oh yes, Crypto.
The Crypto Arena, yeah, Crypto Arena. So I think that's where he's performing in LA, and they're gonna be down there to check him out. So salute to that brother. What's your take on?
Is SZA on that one?
Yep, Kid SZA and DJ Mustard is the only two I know of so far who are gonna be a part of the show.
Doing big things. I did catch a SZA and what's that? Keke Palmer's movie.
I tried to watch it. I started it. I just couldn't stay on tuned in. I like Cat Williams though. He's in the movie. So.
I thought it was funny. You know what I'm saying? Okay. There was dumb things about it, but at the end of the day, I laughed. I thought it was solid. I didn't feel like I wasted my life.
Okay. Yeah. So, Uncle Sam gave that song a thumbs up. I missed something. I missed it.
Referring to Uncle Sam as Sam Jackson when he was playing Uncle Sam.
Oh, okay. Got it.
So he's saying that this is a song that's not super political. It's just, just a song. So it's not ruffling no feathers.
All right. Let's get into some more Sid. First, before we get into more Sid, let's just get to this one real quick. Let's get to the grave mistake. Now I stole that from a news channel.
Because we have way more respect than that. But we ran with it anyways. But still, go ahead.
All right. So if y'all heard the story, it was some people in Philadelphia that was burying one of their loved ones, and the grave site, they fell into the grave. Let me.
Whoa. Yeah. You got to play the video.
Okay, here we go. Right here.
Of Vilas slowly making their way through Greenmount Cemetery in North Philadelphia last week. Then the unimaginable. As they put down the casket, the wood platform above the burial site collapses, sending the men tumbling into the grave.
That's traumatic. That's a super lawsuit and extremely dangerous. I know some people got hurt. I know that one dude was like trapped under the casket. I mean, this is traumatic for the people viewing and super traumatic for the people that were actually, involved in that whole situation. But clearly they didn't devise that platform correctly.
I couldn't understand why the hole was so big. You saw it was like too wide. Like all the people walking, everybody fall in. That's like a big hole for that little square or rectangle.
It makes you wonder why there was even a platform, because otherwise, normally what they do is strictly a hole. But, maybe that was because they were going to, that doesn't make sense. I was going to say maybe they're going to use the extra hole for some other type of stuff. But I mean, it's just, you're right. The grave should be the size of the grave. They're walking on the ground next to it and lower it down type situation. I don't know what that was. That I'm sure that wasn't their first rodeo. So that was something they do and they did it wrong. But no.
And I saw as soon as watching it, what they call that Monday morning quarterbacking, I'm looking at him like, as soon as he stepped on the first person stepped on it, you saw the wood flex. I'm like, oh man, They should have known that wasn't safe ground or whatever, but
And then with that first dude wasn't no little guy neither. There was, yeah. So yeah,
yeah,
that's
that was some foul stuff, man. They gotta be more careful with that. And that was a great mistake. Pun intended.
ouch. Yeah.
All right. Where we at? Want to Tuppo? You want to jump to Trump or go to that?
Let's talk about JD Vance, okay? Let's talk about
JD
before see, I'm gonna say something. Since we don't have First Lady J here, since we don't have some of the people that might be resistant to doing that, we might talk about Trump today. So we just saying that, we just putting that out there, but and we'll be fair about it. But let's talk about Vice President, and his peasant remarks. You got the video for that?
Yeah, I got this video, man. First, let me just start it off by saying he's an idiot. I don't like him at all. Let me just say that at the beginning, so it be no mixes or confusion about it. Let me play this video.
Ask ourselves, what has the globalist economy gotten the United States of America? And the answer is fundamentally it's based on two principles: incurring a huge amount of debt to buy things that other countries make for us. And to make it a little bit more crystal clear, we borrow money from Chinese peasants to buy the things those Chinese peasants manufacture. That is not a recipe for economic prosperity. It's not a recipe for low prices, and it's not a recipe for good jobs in the United States of America.
You got to. Okay, now in his defense, I said, let me go look up the word peasants. I understand that it has those negative connotations. And, it was something to the effect of like, a poor farmer, social, just whatever, what I'm saying? It still is a terrible term. You know what I'm saying? I don't even understand where he's going with it. I really don't understand the logic, because it's obviously cheaper to buy those products as opposed to, manufacturing those products. So, I mean, I don't understand what he's talking about. He's talking about borrowing money. Obviously, we're not borrowing from them. If you're saying that you're borrowing from like the Chinese government or something, whatever, but you're clearly not bothering, they would be peasants if you were borrowing the money from them. So, this was a terrible look, terrible choice of words, and a terrible argument. Okay, brother Charles X, he didn't say anything wrong.
Hold on. He said, "My brothers, brother Charles X is tuned in watching. Salute to our brother Student X, much respect." And then he said, "Cuz right." So he talking about Big Cuz. Oh yeah, he said that's the main thing people will remember at the funeral. Okay, he talking about the funeral, but okay, with the vice president. Okay, we got this one. Oh, I'm lost. I'm a bad.
Yeah, no. So yeah, let me just take care of it. So, anyways, I will say that this, Mark Cram was basically saying what's up to Student X, but Student X actually posted this right here. He said the vice president didn't say anything wrong. Okay, there he goes apologizing for it. He said, "Hell, wait, peasants, hell, they used to be slaves." He said they used to be, but
he
they
talking
aren't.
about slave laborers used to be slaves.
Yeah. So what is this? Whatever. I just want to focus on the term. He said they used to be. So again, this is still not a proper term to be referring to these people. Why not say Chinese workers or Chinese people? You know what I'm saying? Peasants it has an absolute connotation of negativity, of a put down. You know what I'm saying? So it's just like, it's your choice of words. So, I'm sure that brother Student X will spin it however he wants to spin it. Trump's public actions are truly
You can't just say that, nice guy. You can't just say he gonna spin it how he want to spin it.
What? I'm saying Student X. It's the truth. I'm just saying, if he's saying that, you spinning it by just saying that, he didn't say anything wrong, but I'm just saying that it has negative connotations. It's not a good choice of words.
When
but
you
I started
say somebody
off
is gonna spin something, you're saying they're gonna twist it. You can't say, oh, they're gonna spin it how they want to spin it.
You know what? Everybody's gonna spin it how they individually. It's just the fact that he's going to interpret it in a very positive light. And I said from the beginning, I said, let me, in all fairness to the vice president, when I looked up the term, peasants is a farm, a farmer, a poor farmer, of low social class. So that's an objective definition. That's in itself not horrific. It's an addressing what they are. But I'm just telling you, it's still a put down.
I like how this brother Mark said it. Not endearing at all. It's not endearing. It's not a pretty statement. Oh,
Mark Cramps is gonna spend it however he's gonna spend it.
look at these wonderful peasants over here. Much
See,
love to my
big cuz is saying what I'm saying. Our intelligent, brilliant brother, student X, Charles X, is normalizing bad behavior. It's giving him an excuse
Student
for
X,
not
you're
putting
gonna
his
have to come on the show and defend yourself, brother. Come on, man.
I'm you know, still I'm still defending him. I think that he is technically correct, you know, but again, it's just still a poor choice of words. That's what I'm saying. It's a poor choice of words, student X.
All right.
So now you want to pivot to what the great president is doing. You want to talk about what he did with the tariffs?
Yeah, he punked out.
Ooh, Charles, student X, student. Hey, you know what? I better check myself before I wreck myself. It's 6'4", 260.
Hey, Jason, you got it. You got it wrong again. It's 6'5", 250. It's 6'5", 250. Get it right.
Oh man, that's hilarious. But yeah. So yeah, go ahead. Say what you about to say.
All right. So Trump punked out. Did I have the video for that? No, just a picture. Where's the picture at? Yeah, he punked out. Trump punked out on the thing. There ain't gonna be no what did he say? No pauses. No pauses or something he said. And guess what? He paused it. But we just could talk about it. He punked out on the tariff. You know, he's sitting there trying to single out China, but he playing a dangerous game in the sense of he throw it out there against everybody, or what they say, over 70 different states or 240 different countries or whatever, something of that nature. And some of them, you know, as y'all heard in the story, some of them were not even inhabited by people. He just threw it, but he throw a whole bunch of shit at the wall and hope stuff sticks. That's how he works. It's function. It's called, what's the word? Muzzle velocity. You throw so much stuff out there so fast. Top of the morning, but Focus Up 213. That's our brother. That's our brother, one of the founding members. He throws stuff so fast that muzzle velocity, you can't keep up with everything. And it's working. It's working, but people are trying to keep up with it, and it's punking out on the tariffs. It's crashing the economy. What you got to say on it, nice guy?
Yeah, you said it's working. Yeah, it's working terribly. Like the bottom line is he's talking about, oh, we're gonna be, it's like taking medicine. There's gonna be some suffering, there's gonna be some pain, and then the markets just dropped so much, and all his billionaire buddies is like, yo, bro, he's putting pressure on him, and then he's like, well, let's just pause it. I'm gonna pause it because now everybody's negotiating with us, so now I can pause it. But it's like negotiating. So you pull it back just because they're talking. No deals were made. They're just talking to you. So now you're gonna pull this back. And as I understand it, again, I'm not the financial guru, but it was that this stuff was starting to affect the bonds, bond value and stuff like that. And that's when you're like really like, okay, now this is doing too much. There's one thing messing with people's stocks and stuff like that, but once they start messing with the bonds, it was a whole nother thing. Again, this dude talks about trade deficits. So one example that this dude brought up, he talked about how Madagascar produces 80% of all the vanilla all over the world.
Damn.
You know what I'm saying? So just think about that. So this is what they produce. We don't produce vanilla. So we get vanilla, right? So we're a big country. We spend a lot of money. They're a little country. They're poor. They spend a little money. It doesn't matter if they're not basically buying as much of our products as we're buying from them. This whole concept of a trade thing, it's placing value on something that's just tomfoolery. You know what I'm saying? It's just like, look, the main thing is we get something that we want. We get it at a price that we want. We get it at a, that's it. That's really all that matters. So, this whole concept of just tariffing everybody. And when I was looking at the graphic about the tariffs, China didn't have any tariff. They were zero before all of this started. So that's why when Trump's numbers keeps going up and China's numbers keep going up, their numbers less than ours. They weren't even charging us a tariff. What is all this about? What are we doing here?
It's war. It's war. That's what it is. It's a war. It's the precursor to the war that they want with China. I don't know if they want a hands-on combat to combat war, but they want something. They They're intimidated. America is intimidated by China right now. They act like that's why they use the term like peasant and this and that, and they want it to the same way they used to do with Africa to make us think that, oh, they way behind a third world country. They ain't nothing, and they want us to have a negative perception. But with the TikTok coming on the scene, and now they got the red note that gives you an insight to the world of China. They do not like looking so bad. China is advanced. The technology is so far ahead. It's crazy that America is sitting here trying to figure out how can we get the upper hand? How can we get the upper hand? What do we need to do? Only thing that America got left pretty much is the military strength. And we got a country full of consumers.
I was looking to see you ain't had that commercial.
I didn't get it.
Oh, okay. That was very disrespectful, China. For all intents and purposes, I respect what you do. You know what I'm saying? I understand that there's some human rights issues that's going on, but you're a sovereign nation. That's your business. But there's no knock on the technology and the contribution that you have to the world. I do not have any issues with China. I have nothing but love and respect for those people. You know what I'm saying? It's just this whole concept of them being the enemy or competing with them. Look, America, you just need to do you. Don't worry about keeping up with the Joneses. You be your own excellence. You set your own bar and don't even look over on what's going on, on their what they doing with their homework and stuff like that. So I don't understand it. But at the end of the day, we're gonna suffer with higher prices. I know my iPod is not keeping battery like I like, and I'm afraid to try to even think about trying to upgrade this because I don't know how much it's gonna cost. So that's what's going on. So
I remember I went to Hong Kong. I never made it to mainland China, but I was in Hong Kong when I was in the military, and I enjoyed it out there. And I bought some jewelry because that was the thing to do. That's when I wasn't religion, but I still believed in God at the time. I bought a little cross in Hong Kong. I don't know where that thing is at now, but I enjoyed it, and I think I want to go visit mainland China because of all the videos and pictures I see. Hopefully, if I get there, they don't be like, "Oh, surprise, nigga," and throw me in shackles. Be like, "You're gonna help us make iPhones."
I see the videos of how just super advanced things that they do, things that just make a whole lot of sense, just things from a hygiene standpoint. I'm just saying that, technologically wise, man, it's just, it's definitely great. So, it'd be interesting. Here we go. Now, this brother, I'm sure he's got some. China is super legit and have the advantage of not being the aggressor. U.S. would have to come to them, which means heavy casualties on the U.S. side. Hey, so, well, I would hope that we not that type of war. I'd hope that this would stick to just economic, you know what I'm saying? But, honestly, I'd hope that in too. But, that's what's up. So, hey, China, I'm still not okay with them commercials. They're hilarious, but no, chillax.
Yes.
So what do we want to talk about next? Oh, let's talk about and also this dude that's who absolutely capitulated. Make no mistake about it. He absolutely capitulated and caved in. And honestly, I'm not clowning him for it. I'm thanking him for it because the Trump that I anticipate is the guy that will literally just burn us down for the sake of digging into his position. Thank goodness that he had the maturity to pivot. So actually, this is me saluting you, President Trump. Thank you very much. So that's having been said.
He gets no salute from me.
Uh-oh.
Gets no salute from me.
We done spoke somebody's name into existence. He'll come in when he comes in. Infamous El Pooh, what it do?
Good morning, brothers. Good morning. How y'all doing there, man? I'm sorry I'm late and everything. I didn't plan on being on, but I just came in. I had a little time. I saw you all on here. I'm like, oh, ain't nobody on here today. So
ain't nobody.
Hey, we somebody. I am somebody.
We are somebody.
I am somebody.
Ain't enough bodies on here today, so I just
there you go. That's what's up. That's what's up. Infamous El Pooh. Yes, vendors and manufacturers are panicking in China. Yes, because that's your the person that you're relying on business wise, they're not buying your stuff. They're not able to because of the crazy tariffs and stuff like that. So yes, this is causing real trouble in China, but it's going to cause trouble for us as well.
Mark Cram Karn, what's up? Or Karn Cram, I forgot which one it is. Hey, what's going on with you?
The sixth.
The sixth.
Yep. That's right. So yeah, so so we're talking about your buddy in the Tariffs. Do you think he caved in?
Well, I heard Mr. Floyd X say it was no backing down. He actually says no negotiations. That's what they were saying. And yeah, now he's talking about his room for negotiation. I mean, look, and the man just throws anything against the wall. Whatever he reads in the news the day before, he just reacts to that. That's all it is.
Yep. That's what he does.
Listen, let me tell you right now, y'all. Let me tell y'all right now. There is no plan. It's just reaction. Real talk.
Well, I was watching,
go ahead.
I was watching Bill Maher, his show this weekend, and he talked about he went to the White House with Kid Rock and talking about how normal and how
I think he went to Mar-a-Lago.
I don't know what you were saying.
He said he went to Mar-a-Lago, not the White House.
No, it was the White House. It was the White House.
White House? Okay.
Yeah, he said he went into the blowjob room.
Ouch.
What's name? Clinton. He said we went to the smaller room, the blowjob room. So he's a comedian. The comedian's jokes. It's jokes. So
I saw him speaking on that too, man. He said Trump was actually a good dude. Everything that you see on TV was totally opposite of that. And I actually believe that. I believe Trump is just playing a role. I think he is smarter than what we actually chop him up to be. He is.
But I still don't think he's a good person though.
Oh, I don't think he's a good person at all. Oh, I don't think he's.
First of all, I don't think he's smarter than what we think. I do think that he's not a responsible performer. So I don't think he prepares. I think he just gets in front of a mic and just says whatever. That's not a true conveyance of his intelligence. I think he is an intelligent person. I think he's a charming person. I think that when you deal with him one-on-one and you're not whatever, that's why when Jim Brown was going, when I talked to this guy, I couldn't help but fall in love with him. Because, when Trump is just keeping it real and not being a political asshole, he's a charming dude. He's a funny dude. You know what I'm saying? So I can completely get that. I know that if I was interacting with him, I'm sure as hell wouldn't be trying to put him on defense. I would be trying to put him at ease. So I'm sure that I'd probably get along well with him, face to face. But our politics, that would change my assessment of his politics or what he's doing. You know what I'm saying?
Hey, so I agree with Big Cuz. He's feeding his base. I agree 100%. And that's what keeps him in power, because he's doing for them. Just like if Obama was doing more for black people when he was in power, and if we was a majority, if we was a strong majority, we're not at this point. But if we was, when he was, and we could have kept him going, or he would still be running stuff from the outside right now. But I don't think he fed his base.
His base is getting smaller and smaller because he's up here bragging about how much money he done made, all these billionaires and everything. Listen, even some of these people that's supporting him are even getting the idea that he's screwing them too.
There ain't been too many people co-signing this whole tariff thing. I mean, people, at least some people, the intelligent arguments that have co-signed it have been talking about at least reciprocal tariffs. But he created this formula that's not based on any type of rational logic. And, you're talking about way worse, harsher tariffs than the people that are tariffing you. And again, I want to point out that China had zero. That blew my mind. So,
Well, let's jump to these commercials. You want to say something else, Pooh?
Wait a minute. You said China's at zero or Russia's at zero?
I'm saying they were at zero before the tariff escalation. He put 10%. They were at zero. I'm thinking that, he's talking about all this balance and stuff. I'm thinking that they had something. They didn't have anything. And as the United States keeps elevating, their number elevates, but their number is always lower than the United States number.
Well, he's talking about a trade deficit, which means that we might sell more to them than what they sell to us. That's all.
No, I understand what a deficit.
I'm just trying to say to the people, that's all supply and demand, people. If they don't demand the stuff from us, they're not going to get it from us, and vice versa. So anyway,
you weren't here for the Madagascar analogy, but we explained the dynamic of the trade deficit. But I was just talking about the trade numbers, because there were some people that did have trade tariffs on us. So at least reciprocal, if they're doing it to us, you can make an argument why it'd be rational to do it back to them and at least meet them at the number they do it to us.
Absolutely. And you got a good point, but I'm going to tell you like this. If you punch somebody in the face, they punch you back, don't say it's reciprocal. But yeah, it's reciprocal because you first.
Exactly, right. Exactly. So
trucking for all of your trucking needs. East Coast to West Coast, West Coast to East Coast, North to South, South to North. Call the brother. You saw the number at the end. You need something delivered, call the brother.
That's gobealive.org. Go get you some of that black honey. And if you want to get it in person, take yourself to the the Petty Vice in Venice, or the Afro City Marketplace at the Crenshaw Mall. Shout out, sister.
Turn up the dial, it's 10:30. Be back. Spin that back show, all the classics on track. From 79 to 99, we're crossing the gap. Album reviews, little known facts, hip hop intact. Saturday mornings, dive into the history. Samples and stories, old school mysteries. Early South status, Shiraz, and CDD. Roll up out of bean. Turn it up, let the vinyl spin. 10:30 sharp, where the story.
Yeah, you know what that is. That's the Spin That Back show. It won't be on this weekend. We will probably be on next weekend. And, we bring you that hip hop from the golden age, 79 to 99. And we talk about it. Yes, sir.
Sex Talk with what? Go ahead.
Sex Talk with Walk, grown heterosexual conversations. That's Saturday at 9 p.m. And when I mean Saturday, I mean some Saturdays. Every Thursday. Thursday at 9 p.m.
Wow.
Speaking of this cat, I know we got commercials and stuff, but he just said, nice guy, try to look past 2025 and your personal life. The future starts now, Tariffs. No economist is saying that this works, Walk. You're sitting there talking about this. Tariffs only impact us here. China does not pay for tariffs that you charge on China, whatever. The United States American importers are the one that deal with that, and then United States American consumers eat that. You know what I'm saying? That's the reality of it. There's a video of this dude saying that, look, we produce product. It costs $1. It costs $1 for us to make it, right? But you sell it for $50 in America. He's like, $49 of that is basically being made in United States of America. Some importer is making the bulk of that, and the consumers all of that. That's the reality. You guys keep this whole concept of we need to produce everything here it's not efficient and rational for us to produce everything here. It's
Focus Up Network. Salute. Membership. Salute. Appreciate you.
Appreciate you, brother.
That's what's up.
That's the end of the show. No, I'm just playing.
I was like, hopefully it didn't. But you want to talk about the main thing. You want to finish up this Trump stuff because we didn't talk about.
Let's jump into the main thing. Every offshoot of this main form works very well. Focus Up will garner huge numbers soon. Thank you, brother. We appreciate you. We appreciate
speaking it into existence.
That's right.
So what's really doing well is the cut ups and the clips.
Salute to El Poo for that. Knocking them out, putting them out there. I try to grab them and put them on. Once he make them, I try to grab them and put them on TikTok and Rumble. Much respect, El Poo. Thank you, sir.
Yes, sir. Thank you, too. Thank you.
I'm sorry. So we're gonna talk about this brother Karmelo Anthony, the other Karmelo Anthony, and it's really a situation of a murder or self defense. Now, when I first heard this situation, I was incensed at this brother. I thought it was just just a terrible waste of life, just some punk, just whatever, you know what I'm saying? And all the anger and vitriol that basically the MAGA community has, that's the vitriol that I had without having the full details of this situation. As I started reading more about this, you find out that this dude was minding his own business. He was sitting there in the section, and it was this other dude comes stepping to him as being all super hostile. This is not a section that he was not supposed to be in. So right there, he's outnumbered. You know what I'm saying? Now he's dealing with these threats. He forewarns this dude, don't go there. The dude gets physical. He stabs him one time. He just stabs him one time. When the police come, they're like, we haven't, this is the person that alleged. He goes, not alleged. I did it. You know what I'm saying? He's in the car. When they're taking him to jail, he's sitting there, is the guy okay? Is the guy okay? I hope he's okay. You know what I'm saying? And, this dude never ran from the situation. He said it was self-defense from the beginning. The police talked like, this dude was on his best. They presented him like he was just this thug, whatever. But it turns out that he was a dude that was, an athlete, very well doing, high GPA. He was just a kid who crossed the line. But the bottom line, he ain't the thug that everybody made him out to be. I know that Floyd X, you had some take that you had on this. What's going on, brother?
I mean, I was listening to you, and you say they made him out to be a thug. I didn't see nothing that made him out to be a thug. I just saw the news being reported, and it was like, to me, I saw it down the middle. I didn't see no one side or the other side. Then I heard about the black student versus the white student and the things of the past of how other people was looked at and was found as a self-defense claim. But my take on the whole situation is this, man. If you're a student and you at a school, meet, or wherever you at, you shouldn't have a knife in your bag. You should not have a knife in your bag. Self-defense at the school is use them hands, like Walk say, use them hands at school. So it bothered me because my children ran track, and it would bother me if somebody had a knife in school and pulled out a knife and stabbed somebody. That would really bother me. And then I didn't like the story, and we could jump to the GoFundMe or to the raising money part, or El Poo, go ahead, give your take on it, sir.
Well, I heard he was being bullied. That's what I heard. Now, so if you had to defend yourself and you got a weapon, use the weapon, number one. And the thing about the thug, he was black, so he automatically a thug. So that's the given.
Now, who said he was a thug? That's what I'm missing.
He's black.
They were presenting it like he was just some dude that the guy like asked him like hey, when I first read the story, it was presented like, hey, the guy was like, you're in my seat, and the dude just stabbed him and just ran. That was how it was presented to me. And to me, someone who does something like that, that's just like a criminal. You know what I'm saying? You just gonna stab somebody over something like that, whatever. Once I started getting more of the details of it, I'm seeing something different. Again, I'm not condoning him stabbing a dude, but I am of the position. I remember in the barbershop group, the dude goes, that's what this generation, your hands, and you're supposed to do with your hands. And I was saying my counter to that is that no person owes another person a fade. You can offer a fade and you can accept the fade. But if they decline the fade and forewarn you what's going to come, buyer beware. That's the reality of it. So again, I don't know what the situation is. And if you're talking about a person in a hostile situation where you're dealing with multiple threats, you got to do what you got to do. I understand, this ain't all Bruce Lee. You ain't going to just be able to punch your way out of whatever situation.
So when you said, I think El Poo was saying he was being bullied, right?
This is what I heard.
Okay, you heard he was being bullied. Now, you mean that day or in general, like on a regular?
Well, I heard the kid that got stabbed had a twin brother, and I heard they were actually out there bullying people. I don't know the whole story. This is what I heard. This is all hearsay, so I'm not sure. But hey, if I was being bullied or knew it that this person is a bully, I might have a knife or something in my possession too. especially if he had a twin brother and they both doing the same thing. So I don't know.
Does that make it premeditated murder?
No,
No,
it makes it being prepared
premeditated
for
defense.
the inevitable. If somebody,
Premeditated defense.
Yeah,
yeah,
exactly. Because I'm gonna tell you right now, I believe in weapons. You know, pretty much whenever it's legal to, I always have weapons. Always, always, always. And the reason why is because I know that I can do some stuff with my hands, but I can do a whole lot more there. And again, I'm not thinking about doing no simple stuff. I'm thinking about eliminating problem, and you know, whatever's gonna help me do that most efficiently. I'm completely fine with it. But again, I wouldn't just stab somebody. To me, you just get up and leave. That's what he should have done. He should have got up and just left. If the dude was being a sucker, if the dude was doing whatever, that's what you do. Everybody lives in whatever, but you know, also you get what you pay for. You bought that kid that died, he bought that. It shouldn't have happened, but he bought that.
Man.
So yeah, let's talk about the GoFundMe. So this is there's a GoFundMe that's I believe is up to like 300 something thousand, you know, right now, and there's a lot of MAGA people that are in uproar saying that, you know, how can you sit here and support this? But you know, we'd like to remind people, you know, we got some pictures here that, you know, for the people that think that you shouldn't be raising money for this whatchamacallit, you know, first of all, Rittenhouse, you know, he's in a town he wasn't a resident of, protesting. This dude was at a track meet he was supposed to be at, was 17 carrying a gun, federally outlawed until age 18, age 17 carrying a knife. Was attacked after warning attackers he would shoot, was attacked after warning attackers he would defend himself. Attackers, plural, because again, he was outnumbered. So, you know, raised $500,000 from conservatives for legal defense. Conservatives want the legal defense fund shut down or legally garnished. And again, this is what they did. The MAGA raised money for Darrell Richmond, for George Zimmerman, for Kyle Rittenhouse, for Derek Chauvin, for Daniel Penny. This is, you know what I'm saying? So again, you know, shout out to brother Jess Atkinson, who's a great source of information, a great follow on Facebook. But you know, this is the hypocrisy of it. So again, all we're saying that he deserves a proper defense, and we'll let the law play out what the law plays out. You know, that's all it really is.
Yeah, I don't understand how politics is getting involved in this, man. Like, I understand he should be able to raise money. If people are going out there to raise money for his defense, they should be allowed to. Like, I would say, even with the Kyle Rittenhouse, if people want to raise money for him, they should be allowed to do that, to raise money. But I mean, for them to sit here and say that, I lost my thought. God damn.
Are you really surprised about this? The skin color, I'm saying the skin color dynamic about, you know, about who they're upset about, who should be. I mean, and not to mention just general hypocrisy from that movement in general. And that doesn't go for Republicans. I ain't talking about Republicans. I think you can be. There are a lot of respectable Republicans. There are a lot of respectable Republican opinions. I don't hate Republicans or Democrats. I'm neither of them. I think some of them have some good ideas, some bad ideas. We're talking about MAGA. MAGA is kind of all bad.
See, I mean, how are we talking about MAGA when we talking about this kid?
They're the ones that are complaining. They're the ones that want this GoFundMe thing shut down. They think. Go ahead, El Poo.
Man, you got to understand this. It's all that DEI talk and all that old stuff and everything, bro. That's what it is. That's where the politics comes in at.
He needs to raise his own money, and the government shouldn't be helping. People should be helping him because they don't need help, even though, as you saw, they got lots of help. But you know, they see what they see. Hey, because this country we live in makes skin. You know, MAGA people, is that a fact or opinion? Of course, it's opinion.
Yeah. So I mean, like me, I'm looking at it from a human perspective. Or like, look, man, nobody want to have their son at a track meet. Now, if your son is a bully, you have to know if your son is a bully or he out there bullying people, and you got to avert that or prevent that from happening. But you can't have your child out there and somebody stab him, and now your son ain't coming home. That's some cold shit right there, man. And he shouldn't have a knife. That's the bottom line. So, in my opinion, he got to go to trial. And it ain't no, set him free. He was just defending himself shit with me. That young brother got to go to trial and deal with the consequences of his actions. That's my take on it.
So what if you were in an alley and you are getting jumped by 4 people, you think that he shouldn't grab a knife? You know, he shouldn't have a knife for that. You
If
just
I
saying
got
that
a
he
knife,
should.
I got a knife.
But I'm just talking about. I'm trying to deal with an extreme situation to bring it back to this. My point is that, you know, if you're dealing with multiple numbers, honestly, he shouldn't have had the knife. So make no
that's all
mistake
I'm
about it.
saying.
I'm not arguing about that. He should.
Yeah.
Well, I shouldn't say that he shouldn't have that knife. He definitely shouldn't have used it in that scenario.
Shouldn't have
I'm a
brought it to
person.
school.
I believe in you having a knife. If you're responsible, if you're whatever. To me, this was an irresponsible use of it, especially when you're a track star. You could have ran. You know what I'm saying? So it's just what it is. So, you know,
how's it irresponsible when he let this dude know that I have a knife? He said I will defend myself. He let him know this, right?
Yeah.
That's
it
not
was a contract. But see, you know why it was irresponsible, El Poo? Because he's gonna have to deal with the consequences of this.
Well, he does, but you know what? I'd rather be judged by 12 than carried by 6, especially with people falling into graves these days and stuff like that.
Hey, real talk. That's what I'm saying. My policy is very harsh. I mean, you know, it's sad that this kid died, but I mean, you know, depending on the situation, if I was a parent, I'm just telling you right now, none of my kids would ever get bullied like continually. It just would never happen. I would deal with the situation, and if it got to a bad place, it'd be way worse than one kid getting stabbed. So that's why it's very important to get on top of this type of situation. But again, he should not have stabbed that kid. He should have just got up and left. It wasn't worth it. And it wasn't worth it because he's going to have to deal with the consequences of this thing. I think he completely had the right to defend himself. But, you know, it's pros and cons. You got to weigh what's going to play out from this. What's going to play out from this is he's probably going to go to jail, or he's probably going to get, you know, some type of punishment.
He probably is. But you know what? We tired of turning the other cheek.
So. Amen. Hey, like I said, I'm stabby, stab. I believe in all of that stuff, but not for consequence. I don't believe in hurting myself to hurt another person. So that's why I say that, you know, he should not have done it.
Yeah, Floyd, actually, the expression is, you know, if somebody slaps you, turn your other cheek and let them slap the other one. We ain't for that no more. We ain't for that no more, bro.
So El Poo, murder or self-defense?
I didn't say murder. I mean, hey, he didn't have to murder him. He got him up off of him. If he died, well, it is what it is.
Wait, murder. Wait, the definition of murder is different from the definition of killing. Murder is tied. Murder is tied to the wrongful death of something. You know. So when it says "thou shalt not kill," that's a wrong interpretation. It says "thou shalt not murder," because there's a whole bunch of instances where it tells you that you shall kill. You know what I'm saying? So murder, that's always wrong. Killing is not always wrong. Sometimes killing is okay. Not in this case.
So when you just read the definition of murder?
I'm saying that you got to look up the definition of murder. I'm just telling you that I was giving you an example of the 10 Commandments. The 10 Commandments doesn't say thou shalt not kill. It says thou shalt not commit murder. That's the proper interpretation of it, because literally in that rules, it tells you circumstances where you are obligated to kill. So killing and it's, you know, taking life.
Here's the definition of murder: the unlawful, premeditated killing of one human being by another.
Unlawful. There you go.
And
unlawful.
Premeditated.
He intended to go out there to kill that kid.
He did not. He stabbed him one time. When you're trying to kill somebody with a knife, you don't stab him one time. And he stayed. He didn't run away. And he literally admitted immediately to the cops. And he was very much concerned for that kid and was hoping that he lived. And it didn't seem like he was concerned for him necessarily just because he knew he's going to go to jail. I mean, again, the dude that's sitting there admitting all this stuff is not really thinking about jail. He should be thinking about pleading the fifth. But you know what I'm saying? You know, he was concentrating on being right and being honest. You know what I'm saying? So at least that's what it was seeing based on the facts.
That's enough for me. Not guilty.
Not guilty.
Yeah, I'm, you know, yeah. To me, I'm not throwing the book at this kid. Thank you, Big Cuz. Somebody listens. Somebody out there appreciates me. I appreciate that, Big Cuz.
I think it's murder.
Okay.
He killed that young kid, that little Caucasian boy. He killed him. It's murder. He stabbed him.
I don't think it's murder one. I don't think it's murder one. It might be like, you know, something like homicide or something like that.
It's 100% not going to be murder one. They're not going to get that. But we'll see what it's going to be. You know, depends how much more information comes out about this. Because again, you know, it's, you know, There's a lot more details than what started out, and the police have been extremely favorable in talking about it. They're not victimizing this guy. They understand that he's, this is a real thing. He's in custody. You know what I'm saying? He's the person that did what's been done. But all the reports are that they're like, this dude was completely cooperative, extremely remorseful, very concerned about that kid's life, and never ducked his responsibility for whatever he did.
Somebody call him Benjamin Crump.
Let me say this to all our young people out there. Whenever you involved in an incident, when you looked at as the suspect or whatever, they'll come with that. What's the other word they use? It the suspect, and there's another word I can't think of it right now. But don't talk to the cops. Keep your mouth shut. You don't. There's no benefit of answering cops' questions if you're the one that's looked at as a suspect. If you feel that you're being misjudged or somebody wrongly accused, don't talk to the cops. Don't answer their questions. I'm just saying, just like you're not being evasive, you're not being sneaky or conniving. You're being smart.
Yeah.
Don't
unblocked, because unblocked. He's unblocked.
Your Miranda rights says this.
That's the word I was looking for.
You have the right to remain silent, and then they tell you anything you say can and will be used against you.
Exactly.
So shut up.
That's it, man. So, be smart. Don't talk to him. You're not being rude to the cop. You're not disrespecting the cop if you're not answering those questions. You're saying, listen, I want a lawyer. And just go from there. If they asking you questions about stuff, I want a lawyer. That's it. That's the best thing you could say.
And quoting Mark Cram the Sixth, Jesus overturned the tables in wrath at the tax collectors. That's right. He wasn't always turned the cheek. Word to giving Peter that sword. So it is what it is.
I heard he did that because they raised the tariffs on him.
Exactly. We need to do that to the tariff collectors.
Yeah, he flipped the tables up.
Yep. Everybody throwing the Jesus shirt.
Exactly.
Our last topic. I just want to touch on it real quick. You know that the Gray Mendez, 37 years old, was sentenced to 45 years in prison. If you don't remember this story, this is the lady in Brooklyn or the Bronx. She owned a child care, and they one of the children died from the fentanyl poisoning. So the young man is named Da Vinci. What did I say? Felice Da Vinci? Da Vinci? 1 year old.
You don't want me to say it. I told you every time you said it, I kept thinking Feliz Navidad. So I'm trying to stay away from it. Yes, that brother. That's that adorable little kid, by the way. That's terrible.
Yeah. So what happened? They was running a daycare and selling drugs out of the same place. And somehow the children got exposed to the fentanyl. And so the one child died. They didn't recognize the signs of the sickness of the children. It was 4 children that was sick. And the one died, and then they tried to do a cover up. They ran and tried to clear all the drugs out and hide it when they realized it was a fentanyl poisoning, and they tried to cover it up. So she got sentenced to 45 years. Her husband got sentenced to 25 years. I don't know why the difference in the years or whatever, but she apologized to the family, and they said if they would have been able to get it sooner or prevent it, because 3 other children survived. They was poisoned, and the medics performed on them, and they got them to survive the thing. I forget how they do it, but it's a process to it. But fortunately, that the other children lived, and it's just a case of being mindful when you leaving your children with other people that they are law abiding and the health maintenance is all good. Just be mindful, young people out there with your children. I know that me and my wife, we homeschooled our children. Basically, the best care they can have is of their parents. That's the best situation. So just be mindful. I know we got to get out there and work and make money, and we want to put our children. Just be mindful. What's y'all take on this story?
Man, first of all, ain't no apologies, none of that. If my child dies from from that situation, yeah, I ain't gonna say what I'm gonna do. Infamous El Poo. The bottom line is it's gonna be bad. It's gonna be bad.
Okay, let me just say this: you can't be dropping your kids off to Baby D's daycare. Check this out. if she's got a daycare center, and if you know people coming to the door and they not dropping off their kids, they picking up something else, and then she doing hair at the same time, that ain't the place to be.
Oh man.
Right?
Yeah.
Hey, real talk. You know what's going on, and if you know that's a spot, that can't be the spot and the daycare center at the same time. You know what I'm saying? Just how's that, man? Ouch. I ain't trying to go. I ain't trying to go there, Mr. Walk.
But yeah, it's just a sad story, you know. The family. I want to read a quote from the family because the parents said something that was struck me. What is it at? She said, they don't forgive her. They said we do not forgive her, our child, they're not gonna bring our child back. And they said, we're living, but we're not alive. That's how they feel passionately because their son is gone, their 1-year-old son. So, you know, it's a sad story. You know?
Like I said, it's let the bodies hit the floor. That's just not okay. You know what I'm saying? You just, goodness, that's man.
All right, so I think that's the show. Everybody good? Everybody any closing statements?
Hey, you know what? It was very smooth. Hey, thanks you for checking in, Brother Walk, and for Brother Student X, still putting in your contribution, still, doing the things that y'all do. And again, I wasn't trying to be dismissive to say that you're going to spend it how you're going to spend it. I'm just saying that at the end of the day, we all look through our own eyeballs. So we're all guilty of that.
You're just trying to spin that.
You try to say I'm doing a Trump. I'm taking it back. 90 days. It was my plan the whole time. But anyways, so
subscribe to our YouTube page. Yeah, we out.
Peace.